Well, here we are, August 7th, 2010. View of the garden. Starting out are the crops put in the springtime. Here's our lettuce patch, which was actually not started from seed this year. Actually bought packs over at Summer Winds. Seems to be doing very well, even though it's all squished together. Following here are beets that I did start from seed. And, I hadn't noticed, but there is a caterpillar there. Was doing some trimming this morning, and he must have been on one of the leaves. I'm not sure where he came from. Never seen something like that in here before. Next to the beets is a square of carrots, and actually pulled the first one out this morning. Hard to tell when they're ready. None of them were peeking off the top, though I did pull. It was probably a 9-inch carrot out. Here's the Swiss chard, which we haven't been eating too much. The leaves have been having problems with the leaf miners, but I just pulled kind of all the dead leaves off and see how it does here. Here's the Ahi Crystal pepper, purchased at the spring market. There's a little parsley plant back there. And here's the monster cucumbers. These are the pickling cucumbers, and are actually the seeds that we got in Italy, transported over. You see there's a nice pickling cucumber ready to go. There's another one. This plant's been very productive and has really turned out a bunch. This was the first year I bought a fermenting pot, and have attempted to make some pickles. In fact, tomorrow will be the unveiling. Some Hungarian yellow wax peppers. For some reason, the peppers have not done very well this year. My favorites, the padrones, again, not doing all that well. The green bean plants. They did not do as well as they did last year, though you can see there's lots of green beans on them. In fact, ready to pull. Moving around the area, tomato plants, the giant Belgiums, as you can see, huge plants. Lots of green ones. We haven't pulled any red ones off yet, but we'll be hopefully soon. The tomatoes, like the peppers, got off to a really slow start. It was a very cold May. The plants got a late start. They kind of just sat there for a long time and didn't start springing up until a couple months ago. The usual cucumber, the Diva cucumber that I got, kind of sprawled around. I pulled a really big cucumber off the other day. I don't see anything in here right now. I'm not really seeing any blossoms either. Here's the Roma tomato plant I got in Italy. It seems to be doing well. There's a lot of tiny Roma tomatoes on it. Some basil, and the cherry tomato plant. Let me roll on around here. Cherry tomatoes, of course, are always very productive. Back up so we can see this plant. I've actually been pruning them this year, kind of keeping it down the number of vines by pulling off a lot of the suckers. Chelsea purple, or I'm sorry, Cherokee purple. Again, this plant has done much better than it did last year. Last year it was sandwiched between a couple other tomato plants, and it wasn't as productive. The leaves didn't look nearly as good as it does here today. In here we have the acorn squash, and I don't know if we can see, there's a couple acorn squashes. There's one that's not ripe yet. These will probably sit on the vine for a while until we're ready to eat. Very productive yellow squash plant. Nice yellow squash. Been pulling off tons of yellow squash this year. This has been one of the biggest plants that I've had of the yellow squash. And then here's the pepper bed. Slow start, just like the tomatoes. though they started to pick up probably around July. And this gypsy plant is loaded with some good gypsy peppers. Of course, the Spanish spice. We had some last night, fried on the, or grilled on the barbecue. Outstanding. Most all the plants are now showing some little peppers on them. Pan around here. So hopefully I'll be getting some peppers, and hopefully the warm weather stays. This is a new idea that I'm trying this year for the fall crops, to take care of the leaf miners. Put up this netted area over the bed, and hopefully keep out the bugs. We got Brussels sprouts, beets, carrots, Swiss chard, lettuce, 4 heads of cabbage for the fermentation pot, of course. So that concludes the tour. Let me back out. I just want to do a pan around the whole area so you can see what it looks like on August 10th, or I'm sorry, August 7th, 2010.